Welcome to our channel ISC Steno. We are starting the passage at speed of 100 words per minute. Start. At its 12th meeting last Friday, the Goods and Services Tax Council cleared all the requisite state and central level legislative measures to implement the indirect tax regime. The state and union territories GST bills were approved along with necessary corrections to the three other GST bills the Council had cleared previously for central GST, integrated GST and compensation to states through a cess. This paves the way for state assemblies and Parliament to ratify these laws quickly in order to meet the proposed July 1 rollout date for the system. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said the Union Cabinet will soon take up the four laws that the centre has to steer through Parliament, while the respective state governments will take up the state GST law. Separately, officers from the states and the centre are expected to finalize by this weekend drafts for four pending regulations out of total of 9 that lay down the administrative procedures and processes to be followed by taxpayers under the GST regime. The Council will meet again on March 31 to consider those drafts. This will give the centre enough buffer to make the transition to the new system, though industry has indicated that it needs at least 3 months to prepare for the GST. Once it sees the fine print, one major action will still be pending on April 1. That action, the fitment of thousands of commodities and services into the 5 GST rate slabs 0, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28% could prove to be among the trickiest for the Council. The rate fitment process, unlike legislative nuisance, is more susceptible to lobbying not just from different sections of industry but also states that would like a favorable tax treatment for products and services they excel in. For instance, the GST Council has now approved a ceiling on the cess that could be imposed over and above the highest GST rate of 28% on pan masala, chewing tobacco and cigarettes, luxury cars and aerated drinks. For all such sin goods, the cess ceiling has been set higher under the GST than the level necessary to maintain the present level of taxation. But BDs have been kept out of the cess net altogether to order to avoid friction with states that could delay the broader reform. Despite such pulls and pressures, in a best case scenario, the rate setting process should take at least a fortnight and the Council could meet sometime in April to approve the rates, giving lakhs of enterprises just about 2 months to switch to the GST regime with all its implications for supply chains, pricing strategies, and accounting systems could lead to a messy start. The center must keep its mind open on pushing forward the rollout by a month or so, while industry should rise above heckling over rates and invest more lobbying energy on bigger worries, such as the GST penal anti profiteering clauses. The Finance Ministry's unequivocal missive to 10 state owned lenders to submit time bound turnaround plans or forsake any further capital infusion from the government is a small yet timely step in the right direction, as the Reserve Bank of India had flagged in its last financial stability report. Risk to the banking sector remains worryingly high. The continuous deterioration in asset quality, especially at the public sector banks, has led to low profitability and substantial value erosion to the principal shareholders, the government. As the RBI's report pointed out, PSB saw the proportion of their gross non-performing assets to total advances almost doubts in the 12 months through September 2016 to 11.8%, that the ministry has identified 10 of these PSB to administer a dose of tough love suggests they are the ones most in need of urgent corrective actions. In fact, RBI Deputy Governor Viral Acharya told bankers in a speech last month that the problem of bad loans has come up to such a pass that we simply don't, as a society, have any excuse or moral liberty to let the banking sector wounds fester and result in amputation of healthier parts of the economy. This is because commercial lenders have a central role in the economy by serving to harness public savings and directing the flow of crucial credit to the most productive industrial and infrastructure sectors. And when PSBs with their revolving door top managements have little incentive or accountability to redress the burgeoning imbalance in their balance sheet, it is time the largest shareholder delivers an ultimatum: shape up or be prepared to face the consequences. Full stop.